The screeching sound of metal tearing apart filled the icy air as the alien spaceship plummeted toward the surface of Eligium 9, crashing in a spectacular explosion of light and debris. Lyria, a resilient alien mother with luminescent, teal skin and deep-set violet eyes, clutched her injured daughter, Terra, as the wreckage settled around them. The freezing wind howled through the shattered hull, and Lyria's heart pounded with fear and determination. "Hold on, my sweet," Lyria whispered, her voice trembling. "Help is coming, I promise." Terra's breathing was shallow and labored, her small frame shivering violently in the biting cold. Lyria knew that time was running out. She activated the emergency beacon, sending a desperate distress signal into the void. Far across the galaxy, aboard the human spaceship SS Valkyrie, Captain James Thorne sat in the command chair, his eyes scanning the vastness of space through the viewport. The ship's advanced sensors picked up the faint distress signal, and an alert sounded through the bridge. "Captain, we've received an SOS," reported Lieutenant Sarah Blake, her tone tinged with urgency. "It's coming from Eligium 9. An alien ship has crashed." James's heart skipped a beat. Memories of losing his family in a similar disaster surged through his mind, fueling his determination. "Prepare for a course change," he ordered, his voice resolute. "We're going to help them." "Captain, are you sure?" Sarah asked, her brow furrowed with concern. "Eligium 9 is dangerous. The weather alone could kill us." James met her gaze, his eyes filled with unwavering resolve. "We can't ignore this. There's a life at stake, and we have the power to save them." As the SS Valkyrie hurtled toward Eligium 9, Lyria worked tirelessly to keep Terra warm and stable. She scavenged through the wreckage for supplies, her hands trembling with cold and fear. Every moment felt like an eternity. "Sleep now, little star," Lyria sang softly, her voice a fragile thread of hope amidst the chaos. "Until dawn brings the light." The ground beneath them trembled, and a low growl echoed through the icy canyon. Lyria's eyes widened in terror as she glimpsed the silhouette of a monstrous predator stalking through the shadows. She tightened her grip on Terra, her mind racing with desperate thoughts of survival. The SS Valkyrie landed on Eligium 9, its engines roaring as it cut through the storm. James and his team donned their survival gear, stepping into the blizzard with determination etched on their faces. The cold bit at their skin, and visibility was nearly zero, but they pressed on. "We move fast and stay together," James instructed, his voice steady and authoritative. "Lives depend on this mission." The journey through the icy wasteland was treacherous. Towering ice spires loomed ominously, and deep crevasses threatened to swallow them whole. The howling wind and biting cold were relentless adversaries, but James's resolve never wavered. At last, they reached the crash site. The sight of the shattered alien ship sent a jolt of adrenaline through James. He spotted Lyria, her form huddled protectively over Terra, and he knew they were running out of time. "We're here to help," James called out, his voice cutting through the storm. "We won't let anything happen to you." Lyria looked up, her eyes filled with a mixture of fear and hope. "Thank you," she said, her voice barely audible. "Please save my daughter." James nodded, his heart swelling with determination. "We fight together or not at all," he declared, rallying his team. The predator's growls grew louder, but so did the resolve of the humans and their alien ally. They would not let fear dictate their fate. As the team prepared to fend off the approaching danger, a sense of unity and hope ignited within them. The battle for survival had begun, and in this frozen wasteland, the strength of their combined spirit would be their greatest weapon. The ground shook violently as the predator lunged from the shadows, its crystalline fangs glinting in the dim light. Lyria's heart raced as she shielded Terra with her body, ready to defend her daughter at all costs. "Get behind me!" James shouted, his voice cutting through the chaos as he raised his weapon. The predator snarled, its eyes fixed on its prey. James's crew formed a protective circle around Lyria and Terra, their faces grim with determination. The air was thick with tension, every breath a cloud of steam in the frigid air. The predator paced, calculating its next move, and the crew held their ground, weapons trained on the beast. With a sudden burst of speed, the predator charged. James fired, the shot echoing across the icy landscape. The creature roared in pain, retreating into the shadows, but the danger was far from over. "We need to move, now!" James commanded, his eyes locking with Lyria's. "Can you walk?" Lyria nodded, her eyes filled with a mix of gratitude and fear. "Yes, but Tara—" "I'll carry her," Sarah interjected, stepping forward. "We've got this." James led the way, his senses on high alert as they navigated the treacherous terrain. The howling wind and biting cold were relentless, each step a battle against the elements. The team pressed on, driven by a shared determination to reach safety. "Keep close and watch your step," James cautioned, his voice steady despite the urgency. "We can't afford any mistakes." As they trudged through the snow, the storm intensified, reducing visibility to mere feet. The landscape around them was a blur of white, disorienting and oppressive. Lyria clung to the hope that had carried her this far, her every thought focused on Tara's survival. Hours passed, the journey grueling and exhausting. The crew's breaths came in ragged gasps, their movements slowing as fatigue set in. The relentless cold seeped into their bones, sapping their strength and resolve. "We're almost there," James encouraged, though the weariness in his voice was evident. "Just a little further." Suddenly, the ground beneath them gave way, a hidden crevasse swallowing James and Lyria. They tumbled into the darkness, the world spinning around them. The fall was short but jarring, leaving them bruised and disoriented. "James!" Sarah's voice echoed from above, filled with panic. "We're okay," James called back, his voice steadying as he assessed their situation. "Just a bit shaken." Lyria groaned, her body aching from the impact. "Tara, where is she?" Sarah peered down into the crevasse, relief washing over her face. "She's safe with me. We'll get you out." James scanned their surroundings, the narrow walls of the crevasse rising high above them. "We'll need a rope," he said, thinking quickly. "And we'll have to climb out one at a time." The crew lowered a rope, and James secured it around Lyria first. "You're going up first," he instructed, his tone brooking no argument. "Tara needs you." With Sarah and another crew member's help, Lyria was hoisted out, her strength nearly spent. James followed, his muscles burning with exertion as he climbed. The storm raged on, but their spirits lifted as they reunited on solid ground. As they continued their journey, the outline of the SS Valkyrie finally came into view, a beacon of hope in the storm's fury. Exhausted but undeterred, they pushed forward, every step bringing them closer to safety. "Almost there," James murmured, a promise to himself as much as to his team. Reaching the Valkyrie's open hatch, they stumbled inside, the warmth of the ship enveloping them like a long-lost friend. Medical personnel rushed to Tara, their expert hands working swiftly to stabilize her condition. Lyria collapsed into a chair, tears of relief streaming down her face. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice breaking. "You saved us." James nodded, his own eyes misting. "We're not done yet. But we'll see this through." A deafening roar shattered the fragile calm inside the SS Valkyrie, reverberating through the ship's hull. The crew froze, their eyes wide with fear as the sound of claws scraping metal echoed closer. "Brace yourselves!" James shouted, grabbing his weapon. The monstrous predator from the icy wasteland had found its way inside, drawn by the scent of its prey. Lyria clutched Tara tightly, her heart pounding. The medical team worked frantically to stabilize Tara's condition, their faces pale with tension. The ship's corridors, once a sanctuary, now felt like a labyrinth of danger. "Captain, it's in the main hold!" Sarah's voice crackled through the comms, barely masking her panic. "We need to seal it off." "Roger that," James responded, his mind racing. "Team Alpha, flank from the left. Team Bravo, secure the rear. We'll drive it into the containment bay." The Predator's growls grew louder, a chilling reminder of the imminent threat. James led his team through the dimly lit corridors, the sound of their footsteps drowned out by the beast's menacing presence. As they approached the main hold, The air grew thick with tension. James signaled his team to spread out, their movements calculated and precise. The Predator's eyes gleamed in the shadows, reflecting the cold, unyielding determination of a hunter. "Stay focused," James whispered, his voice steady. "On my mark, now!" The team sprang into action, their weapons firing in unison. The Predator roared, thrashing wildly as it was driven back. Its claws raked the walls, leaving deep gouges in the metal. The creature's strength was formidable, but James's team held their ground, their unity and resolve unwavering. In the medical bay, Lyria watched the struggle unfold on a nearby monitor. Her breath caught in her throat as she saw James and his team battling the beast. She knew they were fighting not just for their lives, but for hers and Tara's as well. "Hold on, Tara," Lyria whispered, her voice trembling. "We're going to make it." Tara's eyes fluttered open, her small hand gripping Lyria's. "Mama!" With a final, concerted effort, James and his team managed to force the Predator into the containment bay. The heavy doors slammed shut, trapping the beast inside. Silence fell, broken only by the team's ragged breaths. "We did it," Sarah said, her voice filled with relief. "It's contained." James nodded, lowering his weapon. "Good work, everyone. Let's secure this area and check on the others." As they made their way back to the medical bay, the sense of impending doom began to lift. The ship's warmth enveloped them, a stark contrast to the icy peril they had faced outside. James entered the bay, his eyes meeting Lyria's. "It's over," he said softly. "You're safe now." Lyria's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you, James. I don't know how to repay you." "Just take care of Tara," James replied, a smile breaking through his exhaustion. "That's all the thanks we need." The ship settled into a calmer rhythm, the crew working to repair the damage and ensure their journey continued smoothly. Lyria stayed by Tara's side, her heart filled with gratitude and hope. The bond between the humans and their alien guests had strengthened through their shared ordeal, forging a path toward a new beginning. The klaxon blared once more, this time signaling an incoming transmission from the human command center. James's heart raced as he hurried to the communications room, the sense of urgency palpable. "Captain Thorne, this is Admiral Becker. We've detected an unidentified fleet approaching your location. Prepare for potential hostile engagement." James's blood ran cold. "Understood, Admiral. We'll be ready." He turned to his crew, who had gathered in tense anticipation. "Everyone to your stations. We have an unknown fleet heading our way. Let's make sure we're not caught off guard." As the crew scrambled to their posts, James approached Lyria, who was watching over Tara. "We need to move you both to a secure location," he said, his voice firm but gentle. Lyria nodded, her eyes reflecting the gravity of the situation. "We trust you, James. Do what you must." Tara, still weak but alert, reached out to James. "Will you keep us safe?" He smiled, determination etched in his features. "I promise, Tara. We won't let anything happen to you." The SS Valkyrie's bridge buzzed with activity as the crew prepared for the impending threat. The unidentified fleet drew closer, their ship's ominous silhouettes against the starry backdrop. "Identify yourself," James commanded over the open channel, his voice steady. "This is Captain James Thorne of the SS Valkyrie." Silence stretched, the tension thick enough to cut. Then, a response crackled through. "This is Commander Verex of the Zelaran fleet. We received your distress signal and have come to assist." Relief washed over James, but he remained cautious. "Why would you help us?" "We, too, have experienced the terror of the predators on Eligium 9, Verex explained. "We owe a debt to those who helped our people. Consider this our repayment." James relayed the message to his crew, the atmosphere on the bridge shifting from anxiety to cautious optimism. The Zelaran ships formed a protective perimeter around the Valkyrie, their presence a powerful testament to the possibility of interspecies cooperation. "Prepare to receive Commander Verex on board," James instructed. "Let's extend the same hospitality we've been given." The airlock hissed open, and Commander Zerans stepped onto the Valkyrie. His imposing figure, adorned in intricate armor, contrasted with his calm demeanor. "Captain Thorn?" Zerans greeted with a respectful nod. "It's an honor to stand with you." "The honor is ours, Commander," James replied, shaking Zerans's hand. "Thank you for coming to our aid." In the hours that followed, humans and Zerans worked side by side, sharing knowledge and resources. The once divided species found common ground, their collaboration a beacon of hope in the vast expanse of space. Lyria, watching the scene unfold, felt a profound sense of gratitude. She approached James, her eyes shining with emotion. "You've not only saved us but shown us the strength of unity. We will never forget this." James placed a hand on her shoulder. "We've all learned something valuable today. Together, we're stronger than any threat we face." As the SS Valkyrie and the Zelaran fleet prepared to part ways, a newfound sense of camaraderie filled the air. The stars outside seemed to burn brighter, a testament to the promise of a shared future. "Safe travels, Commander Zerans," James said as they stood at the airlock. "May our paths cross again under better circumstances." "May your journey be prosperous, Captain Thorn," Zerans replied. "Together, we have forged a bond that will endure."